Okay, now we're live. Perfect. So welcome to class. As I was telling these two, in 2 weeks, I'm going to the United States to see the family. And so the classes will be quite different for September. Kind of the whole month of September will be a little different. So make sure you take a look at the Google Calendar, the Hangouts, whatever, when we're going to do the classes. Thomas will be doing some classes instead of me. We'll see who's a better teacher, Thomas or me. And then October will be back to normal, I promise. We'll do, Mondays normal time, Wednesdays normal time, and that's about it. So yeah, keep up on Facebook as well for any other updates. So welcome to our business class today. I'm going to focus on something. We looked at this a couple weeks ago. I think it was in July. How to deal with difficult people. And so we had talked about, if this happens, do this, or this might happen. So today, instead of kind of explaining that, again, I wanted to focus more on the situations at work and what you think you should do, how you think you should react, etc., etc. So let's find out. Let me see. One moment as I screen share. And my computer goes slow. Difficulties at work. There we go. Okay, so good. You should see this now. So dealing with difficulties at work. And I am so computer not good at this stuff that the bar up here with all of the tools has disappeared and I can't find it. I mean, I can find it, but I can't make it stay. So technical difficulties on my end. It actually looks pretty nice without it. So dealing with difficulties at work. So guys, I have 2 readers here today, which is fantastic. Chen-Hu, you had come in first, so I'll have you read this paragraph, okay? The sentence.
Okay. Deal with the difficulties at work. There is no right way of deal with a difficult person, but today we can help you mentally deal with and how to remain calm.
I'm sorry. Spelling issue here. Uh-oh. Calm, I'm sorry.
Calm in the situation with the frustrating people.
All right, very good. JT is here, so I want to say hello to you. Thanks for coming.
Hi.
We'll get another female opinion on these situations. So again, we're just going to be talking about, things at work and how you might react in things. And see, my cats are sleeping together, and my one cat is not happy. So if you hear cats in the background, they're fine. They're just not sharing the space. Very nice today. So, okay, so there's no right way of dealing with a difficult person. But today we're going to help you kind of look through or, look at different ways or one situation and look at different ways on how to approach the situation. Okay? So with that, I just want to go down to this first one. Oh, no, I'm lying. Bob, could you read this for us?
Yes, of course. So today I want to look at the different situations that could happen at work and how you would respond or how we should respond.
Exactly. So again, sometimes, we're in a situation and we react immediately, okay? Which isn't always the best thing. But today we're going to look at those situations and like I said, maybe not how we would respond, but how we should respond. Okay, very big difference between these modal verbs.
Yes, okay. Of course. Yes.
Good. Any questions or anything first?
Not now.
Okay, good. Well, that's fantastic. So, JT, would you read our first situation, please?
Yeah. You are at work and you see a co-worker taking a nap. What do you do?
Okay, so we all are probably tired, when you have to wake up early for work. Later in the afternoon, you're tired, so you want to take a little nap. Well, you shouldn't. Okay, at work, normally it's not allowed. So what do you do in this situation? I mean, what's the right thing to do? What would you do? What would you think about doing? Okay, do I have a volunteer to talk first? No one?
Okay. Let her go on. Yeah.
JT, do you want to
Can we just politely ask that person, politely wake him up and ask not to take a nap because it's a workplace.
Okay, so you would go directly to the coworker.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, there's another option here of, going to your manager, your boss, someone who's higher up to deal with the situation. So it's kind of interesting that you would go directly to that person. Okay. Which is fine. It's great. I personally probably would just go tell my supervisor or someone who has more power than me in the company and say, hey, this is the first time I've seen this, or this isn't the first time I've seen this happen, and it's not fair. So that's personally what I would do. I wouldn't get involved. There might be some hard feelings, or people might not like that. I don't know. If they fell asleep by accident, it's different than if they really actually said, hey, I'm going to take a nap. So it kind of depends on the situation, too. Chen-Hu, what would you do? You own a shop, don't you, in Beijing?
Because in my work, I have a long time in my office, so my co-work always take a nap.
Oh, really?
When I see my co-worker was a nap, I will let her go on.
Okay, do you take naps at work then?
Yeah, sorry.
Do you take naps at work too?
In the noon, I always have a nap.
Perfect. Yeah. See, and that's the other side of the story. Maybe it's acceptable. I think it should be, especially here in Spain, where taking a nap is quite common. Especially when it's really hot in the afternoon. No shops are open. No one's in the street. You're just at home. So why not? So I think it's great. So good. Okay. different situation. Thank you. And Bob.
In my country, sorry.
Okay.
1 second.
In my country, I have most of the people have work about 10 hours. 10 hours. So
a day, right?
In the noon, they take a nap very normal.
How long are the naps normally?
About I think 1 hour.
1 hour? Okay. Yeah. Because here in Spain, they say, a nap of 15-20 minutes is the perfect nap. That's the kind of nap I have. But my husband loves naps that are minimum 1 hour up to 3 hours. So I think that's a bit extreme. But some people say if you're only going to lay down for 1 hour, it's not worth it. And I think, really? Because I can fall asleep, dream, and wake up. It's happened 7 minutes. It's happened multiple times, and it's perfect. So I don't know. It just depends on the person. So interesting. Well, thank you, Chen-Hu, for that information. I didn't know we shared it. Spain and China shared that. So good. So Bob, on to you. What would you do in this situation? I mean, you work on a cruise ship, so all of our situations are quite different.
Yes, interesting situation. But my job in the company is I must going ahead. I must keep moving the job.
Exactly.
Yes. Is is crew members on the job. This is not possible taking a nap during the time of the job. Always one or two members must continuously keep ahead a job, because, and I'm first in this case, really, because this is my job.
Yeah.
On this company, on the cruise ship, and it's very serious
So
job.
if someone were found taking a nap while they were supposed to be working, what would happen on the cruise ship? Because they can't say you're fired, right?
No will be cancelled, nothing.
Okay.
But this is not possible.
There's no other option. It's impossible, so
No,
that's the end of the story.
Yes, no options
Okay.
for the taking nap in the working hours.
But, for example, let's say you had to go back to your, I don't know, room, okay? And you saw someone taking a nap. What would you do? Would you tell a supervisor? Would you wake them up? Would you not say anything?
But sometimes is happening interesting situation, like if you very tired, or maybe you are you feel ill, you're something else. You must find replacement. Yes, or call the supervisor and tell what's happening, and supervisor find a replacement.
Okay.
And but it's really very on the ship is very interesting. This situation of the nap, taking the nap, and is very what's the name in English? It's not usually situation.
Okay.
Absolutely not usually. Yes.
All right. Well, that's good then. So no problems. Let's go down to the second one here. And Chen-Hu, could you read this for us?
Okay. Your co-work always comes in late, and your boss doesn't notice. Do you tell anyone?
Okay. So again, your coworker always comes in late. Let's say you have to be there at 9. This person arrives at 9:15, 9:20, but your boss never notices because your boss is always busy from 8 o'clock on, for example. So what would you do? I mean, would you start coming in late? Would you tell your boss? Would you talk to the person directly? JT, let's start with you again. What do you think?
I actually happen to have this experience.
Oh, good. What happened?
When I used to work back in India, one of my coworkers always used to come late, and almost, he used to be almost 2 to 3 hours late.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and he was one of the senior employees. So at first we couldn't say anything.
Right.
But at the end, it was really, impacting our job, our work, and we couldn't finish the project in time. So we had to tell our manager, who was his boss. So one day he was absent, and that day the whole team decided that we should tell our manager about it. So then I think the manager had a like one-to-one meeting with that person, and then after that everything got sorted out. Yeah.
Was this
It was a
person
very difficult
angry?
situation because I was a fresher at that time, and everybody else in my team was very like junior. So
Okay.
we couldn't get the courage to talk to the manager because he was a senior employee.
Right. So you just said the word fresher. Okay. Could you explain that to everybody? Because I'm pretty
Uh,
sure they might
I
not
was,
know.
yeah, I was new to the company. I had just joined.
Exactly. That's the
Yeah.
end of the definition. A fresher is someone who recently begins something. So you can be a fresher in the United States. You can say in for college, for university, we say we're freshmen because that's the first year of college. Or even for high school, we say that too. So fresher is a shorter version of that. So thanks for using that word. So good. Wow. Okay. So one personal question I have. How did that, so when the person had, the senior employee had to start arriving on time, do you think he was angry?
Yeah, he was. And I think that he came to know that, I mean, we had told the manager about the problem, and he was a bit angry, but he didn't show it on his face.
Okay.
But we could, understand that.
Yeah, there's some tension there.
Yeah.
See, and that's one thing. In that case, I think you as a team, or even if it were some individual person, I think that's the correct thing to do. There's an example at my husband's job. It's not directly at his workplace, but it's the same owners of the place I'm going to mention. It's a restaurant, and one day the bar girl, she's a female, didn't come in on time, and so my husband he works at a hotel. He had to set up the breakfast because she didn't arrive. She had to serve the drinks, the coffee. The terrace was full of glasses and cups from the night before. Everything was dirty. The silverware wasn't polished. The glasses weren't polished. And so my husband told the manager. But in some cases, if it's just one thing, the employees don't say anything because they know someone told the boss or the manager. And then they're all angry with each other. And I'm like, wait a second. If you want the business to be successful, you have to kind of manage everybody and say, okay, this happened one time. Okay, that's okay. It happens every day. That's different. So that's something here in Spain that I don't like because they all want to, be friends and everything. But if someone's not a very good worker, I think definitely someone has to say something. So good. Well, good job. I'm behind you on that one. Chen-Hu, so Chen-Hu, you own a shop, right? But you work in the office mostly. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you are the boss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now we get a different perspective, which is great. Okay. What happens if an employee always comes in late for you? Or what happens if one of your employees says, hey, this person is arriving late every day? What do you do as a boss?
I don't like her because she's very lazy.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So what do you do?
sometimes I think different person have they self life. I think if a person have a good job by herself, I think that's all right. But if her job not very well, I will talk with him with her.
Good.
And
And then if things don't change, I'm sure this person would be fired, right?
yeah, because that's very bad
Of course, it affects your business.
about the work. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, very
Yeah.
good. Thank you. And what about Bob?
Yes.
The coworkers on the cruise ship are always there, but they can still be late, right?
Yes, yes, yes. But only three times. First time, co-workers must explain what's happening. Where are you? Because we're living in the same place. This is ship, and maybe only 10 minutes and 5 minutes is job place. Second time, supervisor get the warning to co-workers, warning about comes late in job. And third time, this is termination of the contract and you're going home. But comes late on the ship is not good for special situation because if co-workers not come back on the ship when ship is in the port, this is last day on the ship and the contract because ship not waiting nobody. Passengers and crew members, we must be always on the time, pretty on time. and I have also this situation, co-workers, and I not tell nothing.
Why not?
But because
Have you been late, Bob? Is that why?
Yes, this is complicated. You have complication about why you tell, what you see, and you must tell about what you see exactly, what's happening, blah blah, and this is not good. But I always tell if somebody is young, please look at your watch and follow the time. There is a lot of passengers, sometimes 500 in the main dining room, in main stage, and yes, not tell anyone, but suggestions about suggestions, yes.
Yeah, talk to them directly. Well, that's good. That's good. I agree with that as well. Ken, welcome to class.
Yes, hello, how are you?
You're late today. It's a perfect entrance for you today.
Always late, always late.
Hey, you know what? It's okay. At least it's not work. This is just a fun English class, so a little different. But so Ken, I'd like to ask you, because we all work in different professions. We have a boss, employees, etc., etc. So if, for example, at work, someone is late, like another teacher's late, and your boss doesn't notice because maybe your boss is, again, in the office doing things, do you tell anyone?
I don't know, it's case by case. Also, I try to coming to the class usually, not late. Other people come late, so I don't know.
No, Ken, you're fine. You're normally way on time. But what about...
Also, people has condition, some people are busy or some people are not, have some family issues. So it's case by case. I don't usually, if it is a problem for working, maybe, I don't know, I would say, but if not, I wouldn't say. That's my opinion.
Well, I mean, for example, in the United States, at university, at college, there's a 15-minute rule. If the teacher arrives 15 minutes late, then you don't have to stay any longer and you can go home and there's no class. Or maybe the teacher arrives 30 minutes late and, then you can still do that other half an hour. But again, it depends, like you said, on the situation. When I thought about this situation, it was more someone who always comes in late. So if it was a situation like that every day this person's arriving 15, 20 minutes late, would you say anything? And it's just because
it is always, it has a reason. That person has a reason. So,
but do you think, is it a good reason? Or
so not only me, I think I cannot solve that problem, only for me. If I can, I would, but usually such difficult case, only one person cannot solve the problem. And maybe also a company or, some work shift. So some complicated issue relates. Also, they are kind of personal issue probably.
Okay. Well, that's fine. So with that, let's go down to situation number 3. Okay, so let's see. Bob, I think it's your turn to read.
You woke up late, the same time you would normally leave your house for work. What do you do?
Okay, so you accidentally slept in. Excuse me. Okay, and so you look at the watch and you think, oh no, this is exactly the time I normally leave my house. So you obviously need to, get dressed, go to the bathroom, brush your teeth, maybe eat something, transport, lots of situations here. What do you do? What's the first thing you do? Do you just get ready? Do you call your boss? Do you let somebody know? What's the first thing that goes through your head? And let's change the order. We'll start with Ken this time and work our way. We'll do Bob, Chen-Hu, and then Jayati at the end, okay? So, Ken, what do you do? I would panic, I think, as everybody normally would. Ken, what's your first thought?
Housework, yeah, I would hurry up. I would, maybe hurry up to catch a train or start a car, or maybe how can I say? I try to go as much I can, as much as possible.
Okay, perfect. No, that's fine. I've done the same thing. It's amazing what you can do in like 10 minutes.
But just being panic is not good, because you might forget a smartphone, or as some important document in the room. So also you need to be calm down to to
calm down.
Forget important thing. Also, driving car very fast, that's kind of dangerous.
Exactly.
Not only, passengers or other drivers too. So.
And also depending on traffic, I mean, that could be a problem too. So good, thank you. Bob.
Yes. I have this situation few times on the ship. Because every 3-4 days ship across the meridian, and we have a lot of changing time. Example, 1 hour up, 1 hour before. Oh, down 1 hour. And what's happening? If you have duties tomorrow, and time is changing after midnight at 2 o'clock, going forward to 3 o'clock, you must to set up your watch and your alarm. And what's happening? Tomorrow I have duties in the library. My turn is at 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock, 2 hours cleaning bookshelf in the library. And one time I sleeping, and 1 hour being late. But my boss is said, okay, no problem. I know time is changing, and you forget to set up your watch. And this is first time. But the second time, you need to call your coworkers or your roommate or supervisor, and we'll be okay.
Mm-hmm. All right, good.
Okay.
Chenhu, let's talk about this situation for you. I mean, if it's you, for example, you wake up late and you need to leave the house for work. What do you do? Do you call someone at the store, or what do you do?
When I wake up late, I will think, "Oh, I am late." I think I will make a reason, and for example, I think the the bad traffic and something else. I will tell my boss, and that's not my fault. That something wrong. Something wrong. Yeah, I can make some very good reason, and my boss will forgot me. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll forgive you. Well, okay, so that's a lie, a little white lie we say in English. A white lie is something that, you say that isn't necessarily true, but it's so that the other person doesn't think, I don't know, bad or negative. So I can understand that, especially living in a big city. If you're 10 minutes late, I mean, not the end of the world. If you're 2 hours late, then we have a problem. So, all right,
Yeah, very normal.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Very sure. So, good. Well, JT, what about you? Has this happened to you? It's happened to me.
Oh my God, no, this has not happened to me.
No. Wow. Okay. Okay, so what would you do?
Yeah, I think first I would call my boss and I would tell him or her that I'm running late. I think I will not tell him the exact reason, but I will try to come up with some excuse. And and then I will try to get ready as soon as I can, and probably, if I read the newspaper every day in the morning, I'll skip that for that day. So I will do the things which I absolutely have to do, and then I will take the kind of transport which will help me reach office in a short time. So maybe if I take the bus every day, then for that day I will take a cab. So yeah.
Good. No, these are all really great ideas. Honestly, I can't think of the last time this happened to me. And like I said before, when Ken was speaking, it's amazing what you can do normally in like 20, 30 minutes. You can do that in about 5 to 10 minutes when you really need to. So it's kind of funny. But yeah, brush your teeth, take your breakfast to go. You can eat on the way. Hopefully you have your lunch packed. I don't know. But, I think we have our habits in our mind. And so then all you have to do is do all of those, but faster. So while you're like brushing your teeth, you can think, okay, I need to go get my socks. You go get your socks. Difficult to put socks on with one hand, but have them ready, open your shoes, get everything set. So when you're finished brushing your teeth, then you can do that. I don't know. There's things that you can do to save time. And like you said, take different transport if needed. But yeah, the first thing I would do is I'd say to my boss, hey, I might be a little bit late, just so you know. I prefer to tell someone first, and then, instead of arrive to work 10, 15 minutes late and say, oh yeah, sorry. Then I would tell someone first personally. But again, it depends on the person. So good. All right. And let's see. We have this next situation of Ken, why don't you read this example?
You have an important deadline, and one of the members of your team goes home, even though there's not a lot more to finish.
Okay, so let's say again, you're working in a group and it's the end of the day and someone says, yep, I'm done for the day, I'm going home. But you have this important deadline and you need that person there. So what do you do? Do you say anything to the person? Do you say anything to your boss? Would anyone like to start this? What do you do? No one says anything? Has this happened to anybody here? Let's start there. No? Okay. Bob, what would you do?
I just translating that line. I'm not sure what
Okay.
is mean deadline.
Oh, okay. So when you have a project, for example, and they say you must finish this by this time and day, for example, by Friday morning at 11 o'clock, I want this, the project, the presentation, the documents, whatever, on my desk. That's a deadline. Good
Yes,
question.
yes.
I should have asked what everyone knew it that way.
Yes. A lot more. Finish. Do you say anything? I'm a good person, and I don't want to say anything, but it is important sometimes. I speak about ship is very special place for this reason, and then many employees are not working on the ship exactly by this.
In this situation, yeah, it's a little different for you, for example.
Yes.
But in general, let's pretend that you work in an office building, you have this project to do, and someone says, oh, I'm done for the day. Do you talk to the person directly? Do you not say anything? Do you tell your boss?
No, I not say to boss anything. Maybe tell little bit of suggestion and help co-workers.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Focus on what you need to focus on and just continue. Okay.
Yes.
That's fine. Thank you. Chen-Hu, what would you do in this situation?
I think that's all right. I can do I can do this more thing for her. But if my turn, I help her can do my job. 然后 then for me, yeah, I think that's very well. If her will if her sometimes I think someone maybe have some reason. If her have a very good reason, I will. I think that's a very normal.
Yeah, that's an okay situation. What if the person just wants to go home because it's, the hour to go home? And they don't really have anything to do, but they say, nope, this is my 8-hour day for the day. I'm done. I'm leaving. Does that change things?
I think the a lot of things is normal in the work because we want earn money and and help a good life. But sometimes someone have a good life, they don't want hard work. That's very normal. Yeah.
And
That's very normal. So I hope her I can do her job But if my turn, I hope her can do my job.
Exactly. She can
If I
return the favor.
yeah, if I need, yeah.
Okay. Well, see, and that's a really interesting, topic too. Of well, maybe they have to go home or go home, but when I want to do it, they don't tell the boss. It's kind of a mutual agreement. So, okay, that would be fine. I could see that. GAT, have you been in a situation or anything like that, or what do you think?
I think that if I'm a team member, just like him, then I'll not tell him anything. I'll just ignore and I'll do my work. But I think it's the responsibility of the team leader to notice this. And if I am the leader, then I think I will ask that person that why he is leaving early. Is there anything important at home? Is there an emergency? And if yes, then okay. But if it's not, then I think I will have to talk to him about it.
Exactly. So, and if you do have to talk to this person, what would you say and how would you say it?
I think I need to make him realize of the situation. Yeah, that we'll have to, I mean, how important it is for us to complete the project on time, and what will be the consequences if we can't do that, if we miss the deadline. So I think if somebody does this, then maybe he's not a very senior person.
Yeah, probably a new person, someone who doesn't really understand how it works. Okay, good. And Ken, what about you? What would you do? Maybe you're at a teacher meeting and someone says, "Oh, I'm done for the day." Do you say anything to them? Do you tell your boss? What do you do?
Maybe teachers meeting, maybe it's not so urgent. Maybe
Okay,
decision
more
making
urgent
is
situation.
important, but after the decision making, so sometimes just taking a long time, without any productivity. But if the deadline or task is very important task and deadline is urgent, that's a problem. But I think I asked the person the reason, and if he or she can stay, I would ask them to stay. Also, if the boss exists, maybe I would ask, or maybe the boss would ask the person, maybe without. So it's up to the how urgent or how important task it is.
Okay. All right. Well, very interesting. I can see all of these, and let me see. We have this last one here, and I'm just going to read this. So, a coworker always takes personal phone calls at work, and they're a loudspeaker. So, what do you say to them? Okay, so you work with someone, let's say in an office, and they're always on their telephone, and sure they work sometimes. But what do you do? Again, do you go directly to the person? Do you talk to your boss? Who do you approach first? And would any of you like to start? No? Okay, then I'll ask JT to start. What would you do in this situation?
Personal phone calls at work. I think if it happens like for 1 or 2 days, then it's okay. I'll not tell him anything. But if it, if he continues to take personal phone calls and he's speaking loudly, then it depends. If he is a friend of mine, then I think I will directly, I can talk to him about it. That maybe he should take the personal calls. He should go out of the room and then take the personal calls. Because like where I used to work, we used to work in a big room in separate cubicles, so there was no boundary, there was no separate room. So in this case, I think it would cause a problem for other employees. And if he's a very senior employee, then I don't think I will. I'll just ignore it, I think. I'm too scared.
It depends on if they're your friend or seniority. Yeah, I can understand that. That's okay. Chenhu, what would you do in this case?
My friend very well. No one do this, but I think if someone do this, I will tell her don't do that in our office, because that's very awful. Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it's not appropriate, really.
Yeah.
So that's good. All right, thank you, Bob. What about you? I think it's a little difficult on the ship to talk to people.
On the ship is very difficult.
Yeah.
Because on the public areas, crew members is absolutely prohibited to have mobile phones and phone calls. Only manager and supervisor have a deck phone. Only deck phone. And we have not conversation and telephone call on the job. We have special area like crew bar and like areas for the crew, for the telephone, and crew members is speaking a lot with family. Maybe we have internet, Wi-Fi. But in the normal situation at home, at office, I remember before 10 years I worked in the real estate agency and like agent for real estate and co-workers, yes, always takes personal phone call for the girlfriend or boyfriend or family.
And did you ever say anything to anyone, individually or to your boss or anything?
No, via boss, only individually.
Okay.
Like friend, like colleagues.
Okay.
Yes,
good.
Calm combination is always better than officially with boss.
Yeah.
yes.
I can understand that too. Yeah. Okay. Well, good. Thanks, Bob and Ken. What about you? What would you do in this situation? In the teacher's area or something, this happens.
I think it's rarely happening in Japanese workplace because peer pressure is very strong. Other people's eyes also. Japanese tend to care about other people's eyes, so sometimes maybe but I've never experienced this kind of obvious case. Maybe they try to call, in the restroom. Restroom is a different meaning in English. Anyway, people who rest was smoking room or maybe go out while or in such occasion. But nowadays people communicate with a lot of messengers, private messenger, phone, and what employer maybe is not using their company's computer, using private usage because it's a lot record is preserved in the server of company. So maybe employees who want to do that secretly hiddenly do by using by their smartphone or messengers, not company's phone or computer.
Okay. Well, interesting. So yeah, today was really interesting with all of the different opinions. We're all in different situations. So cool. Well, very good. So we're at the end of the class now, and so I just want to mention classes for next week. On Monday, it looks like we are going to be talking about quantifiers. So like lots of, plenty of, much, many, etc., etc. And then next Wednesday, we will be talking about some business idioms, okay? So that should be pretty interesting too. Idioms are always pretty fun in English, so there's so many. So very good. Well, thanks everybody for joining. Great class. I really enjoyed it. Lots of different opinions and types of advice. So wonderful. And that's it. So enjoy the rest of your week. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday, okay?
Okay.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.